Howdy guys, Agur's back. 3 more packs. Let's check them out. So far we pulled 3 different cherubims, one from Roots and the other 2 from the set. I don't know how many are in the set, but let's see what we got here. Ooh, we got a repeat here. So we're starting off with the same rare that we got last time. Agur is the father. This guy's good, so I'm happy to get more than one of him. Next up we got Surveying Spirit. Generic Silver Angel. Reveal all hands. You may shuffle an evil card from the hand with the most revealed evil brigades, regardless of protect abilities. That's pretty interesting there. The ability to pierce storehouse effects. That's pretty nice. So, I guess I wonder what happens if you tie. So if you tie, you get to pick your opponent's hand anyways. Um, you definitely don't want to have this hit yourself. Um, but it's nice. 1-2 is a great body for initiative. You get to see what they're doing, and they get to see what you're doing. That's the other problem. But um, regardless, protect is nice. I kind of like him. So Zechariah Angel, that's pretty interesting. Let's see what else we got. Allowed to be trampled. We've seen this one before. Again, if used by a Greek, it turns into an ITB battle winner. So pretty good card. Discard a good fortress and all opposing heroes. So pretty nice there. And we have a new card here. Impending Battle. Reserve all heroes in battle. Opponent may add a hero to battle. Cannot be interrupted if used by a Persian. Okay, so this one's really cool here. This is a guaranteed CBI battle winner, meaning that if they don't prevent this, they're not going to be able to stop it. But they do get to add a hero to battle. So assume they attack with this huge band. You're like, boom, impending battle. I win this for sure, but you get to start over again. I like it. I think it's a really good way to do this. The sad thing is they get reserved instead of getting discarded, so they'll get to find them again eventually. But I think it's pretty good. Like if there's a deck that's really built around a certain band, and you're able to get that down and just reserve them all, it seems like a good way to win a fight and mess with your opponent's strategy. So, impending battle, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Let's open another pack here. Let's see. Jeremiah the Weeper. Let's check it out. Jeremiah the Weeper. 111. Interesting stats there. Very good for initiative. Green. Major Prophet. Solomon's Temple Priest. Paralyze evil characters with strength 5 or less this turn. While alone, reveal reserve. May use enhancements from reserve. So they did. I remember them spoiling this one in the spoiler season. And this is a really cool card. When he attacks alone, you get to turn your reserve into your hand basically for enhancements. So I really like that. The paralyzing characters with 5 strength or less can also really mess with your opponent's defense. It's a good card. Definitely a good card. I don't know how much play it's going to see, but I like it for sure. Next up, we got Covenant of Time. Covenant of Time. So it's both an enhancement and an artifact, depending on how you play it. The enhancement side says take a good card from reserve, convert this card to an artifact. Okay. And the artifact side is during battle, you may balance an OT green enhancement limit once. So, if I'm correct, when you convert this card to an artifact, it activates as an artifact too. So, oh, because it says during battle, like it would be fine. It doesn't need to activate specifically right there either. So, converting it to artifact gives you the ability to do a manually activated ability during battle. During battle, you may balance an Old Testament green enhancement limit once. Okay, so thoughts on this card? I love the flavor and the creativity on this card. Well, not the flavor, the creativity on this card. Taking a good card from reserve, converts this card to an artifact. This is a slow card. It's not insanely powerful at that, like, it doesn't help you in special initiative. Getting a good card from reserve is nice, but not insane. And it does turn into an artifact. And the artifact's a really cool ability, but do you really, is it really that vital? And limit once, it's not once per game, so it's just once per um, the card itself, I believe. So it'll count itself on the artifact pile. You won't be able to do it again until you balance it or something. Um, uh, Balancing an OT green enhancement is useful, certainly. You get to reuse an enhancement, you get to use it twice, but I just don't know if that's going to be good enough to see play on its own. Um, Maybe there's some special combo that it comes with, but to me, I'm not like I love the design, but I'm not impressed at the power level of the card. That makes sense. Hopefully, it does. Ezekiel, sign from God, major prophet, priest, 5/10 green hero. Look at opponent's hand. Top deck an evil card, except a single brigade evil card. May ban to an Ezekiel hero. Cannot be interrupted. So, good modifier of CBI on this guy. He gets to get rid of a multi brigade and evil card, or dominant. Okay, so he won't hit single brigade here evil characters and evil enhancements, but he'll hit dominance. So or a multi brigade cards. So that's pretty good. Banning to an Ezekiel hero, very nice. All being CBI, that means it's not going to be undone. I like it. That's a really good card. It's probably one of the stronger cards in the pack. What was the rare again? It was Jeremiah. Jeremiah might be stronger, but that was pretty good. And then we have here Antigonus the One-Eyed, Greek king. You may discard a good fortress, or selected player must draw one. So the Greeks' theme is forcing their opponents to draw, and then having a whole bunch of effects mess with the fact that they drew. So if opposed by 3 or more heroes, negate good cards, cannot be prevented. Okay, so interesting here. 2/3 evil character black. He's a warrior. Um, Discarding a good fortress, useful. And, or making them draw one for the theme. That sounds useful too. If opposed to 3 more heroes, negate good cards. That's nice. So you undo anything they've already done that can be undone, and then you would prevent good cards for the rest of the battle. That's pretty good in CVP on this character. I think this card probably see play. I don't know if this is like the powerhouse of the Greek defense, but it seems like a good role player in the Greek defense. So I think he's a pretty good card there for Antigonus so far. So let's open our final pack of the night. Let's see what we got here. Okay, interesting. Good art in this one. So we got Goat with a Horn. Goat with a Horn. May ban to a, so it's a orange black 11/9 evil character. Demon, Greek, king. May ban to a Greek warrior. Old Testament enhancements used by this card cannot be negated. Okay, so that's pretty spicy here. Generally speaking, they do not like to give low static characters this ability that their enhancements cannot be negated. They tend to give them to very high static characters, which makes sense because if this guy was just a 1/1 and he always got to play the first enhancement and it was CBN, that'd be crazy. So this guy he definitely seems like he could do some work here. The banding to a Greek is a nice little bonus to this card. Old Testament enhancements used by the card can't be negated. It is a good ability if you can actually make use of it. I like that this goat with a horn is a warrior. I didn't know goats could hold weapons, but this one is. He's representing a king, so that's good. I like it. I don't like it. All depends on the meta if this was going to see a lot of play, but definitely powerful enough if you can expect to get initiative on this guy, playing some CBN Old Testament enhancements on this guy, pretty strong. I don't know if there's many good orange enhancements that are strong in the Old Testament, but it is a pretty cool card for sure. So let's take our next one out. Smashed Opponent. Let's see here. Black Enhancement 6/0. Discard all heroes in battle, regardless of protect abilities if used by a Greek. Okay, so it is a battle winner. It's a slow battle winner. Regardless of protection is a nice modifier. But considering you're just expecting that they're gonna negate this, you got to find a way to give this some sort of. You got to get something else. Like you play this on the goat, make it CBN. That's pretty good. But if you're not constantly playing this as CBN, I don't know if it's going to be that good. Um, on the goat again, like we talked about, that's pretty sweet. Blows up all the heroes in battle, are regardless of protection. That's very nice to get around a lot of little combos and bans. Uh, it could be a player. I wouldn't expect this to see a lot of tournament play, but it could for sure. So, um, smashed opponent, pretty good. Jerusalem. Ooh, don't knock over my camera here. Jerusalem. What is that? Filled. Jerusalem filled. 2/4, 2/4 silver enhancement. If used by a Zachariah hero, interrupt the battle. O Testament hero may ban up to 2 heroes from each player. Okay, I like that. That is fun. So it's going to be used by a Zachariah angel, basically. Interrupt the battle. O Testament hero may ban up to 2 heroes from each player. Usually, that they'll give you a band that's inside your theme. Like you can ban to gospel heroes, or you can ban to Old Testament heroes, or you can ban to Genesis heroes, or something like that. This one doesn't have a theme; it's banning to different players' heroes. So you're pulling in heroes from your opponent's team. You're pulling in your heroes. It's 4 heroes you can ban to, assuming they're out there. So by Zachariah hero, you get interrupt the battle. This means you can play this as a response to special initiative. You get to bring in their heroes and your own heroes. I like it. It's a fun card. Of note, their heroes might not be the best to bring in. They may not fit with your team. They may be able to remove your heroes and then just leave their heroes, and you don't have any enhancements to play on them. At the same time, like if you expect that you're going to actually lose anyways, you can bring in some of their heroes and have them destroy their own heroes. That's a win there too. So Jerusalem Filled, that's a fun card. I like that card. Very cool. And final card of the night is the Babylonian Officials. Babylonian, it has Unity here. Babylonian's evil. If you don't know Unity, you have to meet that requirement. So all of your Babylonian characters must be, all your evil characters must be Babylonian, I believe, or is it reversed? It's been a while. I haven't played it in a while. Unity. Old Testament enhancements used by this card are regardless of protect abilities. If you control another Babylonian, you may underdeck an Old Testament Lost Soul, and his stats are 9/8 Crimson Evil character, the Babylonian Officials. Okay, so it gives the modifier regardless of protection to your enhancements. I'm not loving it right now. If you control another Babylonian, you underdeck an Old Testament Lost Soul. That tends to be this kind of type of theme where they're trying to hide souls away. Again, that's not a thing I love to do myself. Um, it all depends on what type of protection there is. I'm assuming this is meant to get around protection for like Herod's Temple that would protect your heroes and your evil characters and territory from capture abilities. This will give you the ability to pierce that protection. Still, this would be a very niche card in my opinion. Definitely not something that doesn't scream strong to me, but I like it. I want to do one more pack here. Let's go for a fourth pack. Let's see. So, what we got here? Okay, we got a dominant. We got a dominant here. So let's check this out. We got Forces Arise. Evil Dominant. You may activate an Old Testament idol from deck or reserve. If you control an evil Greek, each player must draw one, and you may underdeck this card. Wow. Okay, so this is a dominant that you can keep on using throughout the whole game because it underdecks itself. Activating an Old Testament idol from deck or reserve in the middle of, like, at dominant speed, that seems powerful. Like, I'd have to see all of them. I don't know which ones there are available right now, but the ability to activate an artifact in the middle of a fight is really useful. Or at least it could be if there are any good ones. So I'd have to see what the list is. But this card screams like potential or future potential if they produce any idols that are good with it. Also playing with the Greek ability to force them to draw one. That seems good. Overall, this seems like a pretty sweet card here. Might be. It all depends on what it plays with. If there's some good idols for this, this could be one of the best cards in the set. If it's lacking on idols, this might be a card that's not played yet. And again, it could be a card that's played later on, but the fact that it keeps on underdecking itself and playing it, allowing you to play it later, is pretty cool. Pretty cool. We got overlooked ordinances here from 4-2, evil brown enhancement territory class. So we haven't seen a territory class enhancement, to my knowledge, in our cracking these packs here. So you may place this card on an artifact, negate that artifact, restrict artifact's controller from deactivating artifacts. Okay, so this is not an enhancement you ever really want to play in battle. There's not going to be much value of playing this in battle 99% of the time. But doing this locks up your opponent's artifact slot, and that is actually pretty sweet. You negate an artifact, assuming it doesn't have CBI, or CBN, and then you restrict them from deactivating artifacts, meaning they're stuck with that inactive artifact in the slot. I think that's pretty cool. Definitely worth a territory class slot in my eyes, just to lock their artifact slot. At least in any metagame where artifact slot is valuable, this seems like it could be a good answer to that. So, overlooked ordinances is pretty cool there. Let's check out the depraved crimson evil character. Is that a 8686? Babylonian, X equals number of opponent's good brigades. Negate New Testament cards in battle. If blocking an opponent has brigade advantage, draw and or capture up to X cards. Cannot be prevented. So good modifier on there. Stats are kind of middling, but that's okay. Negate New Testament cards in battle is a great way for your Babylonian defense to really put the fight to Gospel or New Testament offense. So that's pretty sweet. And if blocking an opponent has brigade advantage, you can draw and or capture to X cards. That's pretty sweet. You can capture their evil characters, you can capture their heroes. If there's nothing left to capture, you can draw cards. It all depends on. This is a Punisher, so it's punishing their brigades, and hopefully they have brigade advantage if you play this. Assuming you got one brigade here, so hopefully they have two brigades in battle. You do this, you get to capture a bunch of cards or draw a card. So pretty cool. Depraved is a good card. I think it's a good role player. It could be a good role player in the Babylonian deck. And we got another prophet here, Zachariah, the Seer, 4/9 green prophet. Prophet Exilic Zerul's Temple Priest. And yeah, he's a minor prophet. You may reveal a good dominant from hand to protect heroes from harm. May ban to a minor prophet or a Zachariah hero. Okay. So this is interesting. We usually haven't seen many characters that just give good protect abilities. I think there's a few, but I think they're doing more of them in this set. So that makes the regardless of protect on some of these cards a little bit more powerful. But yeah, he comes in, bans, and protects, assuming you have a dominant. That's pretty cool. So I like Zachariah this year. This looks like a good card here. Definitely a lot of fun. So the question is, what is the strongest card we got in the whole time here today? There's a few here. It might be Jeremiah the Weeper. We did get a lot of prophets, and I think that's really cool. We've opened a lot of the prophets. I don't know if we've gotten all of them yet, but we got Isaiah, we got Amos, tonight we got Jeremiah, Ezekiel, and Zechariah. Well, some of these are priests too, but I like Green's grouping of priests and prophets here. So it's pretty good. Jeremiah might be the strongest card we got. Also, we've got to give a nod to Goat with a Horn for looking awesome and potentially being a really strong card, depending on what it's got to go with it, and if the CBN enhancements could be useful. So I'm liking these cards. Again, we have this dominant here, Forces of Rise. Like, it all depends on what type of idols you can get, but if there's anything that's good, this is going to be an amazing card with the ability to keep on recycling this and playing it throughout the game. That's pretty good. So a lot of good cards here. Shout out again to Azarus the Father, the guy that we opened last night. or the last time we did this last round. But this guy is obviously really good in my opinion. I hope he's good, like because I think he's. I imagine he's good. But yeah, this is a really cool set of cards here tonight that we saw. I'm excited to get to use some of these. The Greeks sound like a fun defense. The Persians, I think, are so far the ones I'm most interested in. But otherwise, um, that's what I think about these cards, these packs I cracked tonight. Please let me know your thoughts. Have a good night. God bless.